Welcome back to Maine Tiny Homestead. Today in the garden we're going to harvest onions. Come along. Here's our first onion patch. And if you remember, a couple of weeks ago we trimmed all the tops of the onions so that we could have the necks not have as much weight on them to kind of extend the life and let the onions grow a little bit. But typical of this particular summer, it has been rainy and a lot of storms. So now you can see there's a lot of these necks that are bent over and prematurely actually and need to be pulled. What you would really do is you would wait until the neck falls over on its own. See how thick this one is and still standing straight up? You would want this to naturally fall over and these to turn brown, and then you would be able to pick it. But as soon as the neck bends like this and gets soft, the onion's not getting anything else. It's not going to grow anymore. It's actually probably going to rot unless you pull it out, especially with all the rain we've had. So as you can see right here, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have to pull just from this bed because the tops are down. I did try and pulled one yesterday that was bent over and it was a little bit rotten. So I don't want to wait any longer to pull these out where the tops are down. Now on this bed, I cut all the carrot tops off and they're starting to grow back because we just had a slug problem in here and there was just too much leaves for them to chew on. So I decided to trim all the tops off, pull every other carrot, and now try to let the rest of these grow. So the tops are growing back, so I guess that'll be okay. But in this bed, there's let's see, there's 2 or 3 on that side we got to pull, and several on this side. So we're going to harvest all of these as soon as it dries out a little bit. It rained again last night, so I'm going to let it get a little bit sunny out and maybe dry this up a little bit, and then we'll pull these onions. So how are you really sure that the onions are ready to be picked? Well, in this small batch right here, I'll show you I have all kinds of ones that are ready. So let's take a look at it. If the stalk is straight up, like this one, we're not touching it. We're just going to leave it there, okay? But if the stalk is bent, like this one, let me get right in front of it. You can see it's bent over, starting to turn brown, and it's really weak right here. So I'm just going to pull this one out. Okay, and they just pull out because there's not many roots on an onion. And let's see, let's pull this one too. See how this is bent all the way over, and this is really soft. There's not, like, look at this, it's flopping all over the place. These got some girth to them, still there. Even though this one's half bent, that one's still there. This one, floppy. Let's pull that one out. Okay. So we got those 2 out. Let's go over here and see if there's any over here. Now what you would want to do is wait until these bigger ones fall over naturally on their own. But the storms we have had and the amount of rain we've had this year, I don't want to leave any of these in if the stems have broke all the way over at the top of the neck here, at the bottom, and this is compromised. This is all squishy now. It's flopping around. This one's ready to go too. Okay. Couple more over here. This one too. Now these are all prematurely falling over, and it's because of the wind, rain, and if you can tell right now it's very windy. Another storm is coming, so I'm trying to get these out of here before more rain comes. We got another couple of inches last night and 4 inches earlier this week. It's just been unbelievable. But yeah, back to the onions here. This is what's happening. So it's prematurely forcing them to be harvested because you don't want to keep them in if the neck is broken over like this. So let me pull this one too. And this one I'm going to pull too. This one almost feels a little bit waterlogged. See how floppy this is and really broken down and brown. I should have pulled that one probably last week. We pull this one too. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave the rest of these in this bed because the neck is still strong even if the sides of these are kind of bending over. Over here, oh, this big one, I'm so bummed because this was a really big one and this is just crushed, so I do have to pull both of these out. So here's the smaller one. Wow. Look at this thing. Look how awesome this is. Hopefully it's not too waterlogged. Look at the bottom of that. But wow. Is that a pretty amazing onion size? If you've ever grown your onions from seed, you'd be pretty proud and amazed at this too. This is unbelievable. And the onion seeds are so small. They are like even smaller than a little speck. It's almost like a grain of pepper is how small a onion seed is. So for me to have them this big, look at these guys. But they're growing strong. I'm gonna keep them in. Look how big this one is. It looks awesome. Maybe one more week and we'll take those out. All right, I better get those out too. So if your onions are showing signs like these where the neck have fallen over, please pick them because you want to be able to use them and you don't want them to rot in the ground. So pick them when the necks fall over, either prematurely or naturally. Now, if they fell over naturally, the greens would brown up and then the necks would fall over in a gradual manner. These are kind of aggressively fallen over because of the big storms that we've had. But these are my pride and joy right here, and we're going to keep those 3 going. As always, thanks for watching Maine Tiny Homestead.